Robcast number 41, A More Than Les Paul. I know that I'm difficult to live with, but it's not because I like to sit on the porch and play guitar or I like to make noise. It's because once I notice something, one of two things happens. I either completely ignore it and it doesn't bother me, even though it bothers everybody around me, or I become hyper-focused and it's going to bother me forever and ever and ever. Amen. 2022 Epiphone Power Player Les Paul. Short scale version of the big heavy beastie mahogany bodied thing that I fell in love with once upon a time, but ultimately gave to a friend because I didn't like it. Great little guitar. Easy to play. Absolutely feels smooth in the hands. The smaller version fits the body quite well. It has already been on the bench. I looked for ways to improve it. I looked for ways to chase things. And after I cracked it open, I decided I'm pretty much just going to leave this one alone. It's perfect the way it is. I wouldn't change a single thing yet. It's like it's singing. Give me one reason to stay. Don't change me. Let me be just the way I am. Oh, just that little bit of growl. It's all good. Until you throw a little bit of gain. That humming sound. I noticed it. Now, my brain thinks, can I let this go? Can I retune everything? Apparently not. It's back to the bench we go! That guitar at the end of the clips, well, that's my Mitchell. It's an MM100, and this is the way it looks stock standard. This is the way it looks now. If you notice the change, congratulations. You can pick up on the subtle difference between a humbucking pickup and a P90. If you go back a little bit, you see 2 rows of round things in the middle of the pickups instead of 1 row of round things in the middle of the pickup. That's the difference between a double coil pickup and a single coil. A double coil typically has less noise, but a single coil to my ear sounds better. If you've paid attention, these pickups are not real P90s, but they're P90-ish, and I like their tone all by themselves. I don't care how other people identify them, or even really how they self-identify. I just think they're good. And they solve the problem of the tone. I don't like double coil pickups. So the question, of course, is why do I keep buying guitars that have double coils? And the short answer is, well, because buying guitars is fun and I might or might not have a problem. But the long answer is, I didn't know that I didn't like them at the time. We live in a buy before you try guitar culture now. I couldn't find one of these. The only way to put my hands on one was actually to go ahead and get it. The secondary reason, everybody says you should have a Les Paul. Forget the fact that I've already given one away. Everybody should have a Les Paul. Do you have a Les Paul? Why don't you have a Les Paul? You need to have a Les Paul. Hey, they make a mini Les Paul. Okay, I'll get a mini Les Paul. Then I'll have a mini Les Paul. I guess technically a mini Les Paul is a Les Paul. So the problem is, you don't want a Les Paul, you want a more Les Paul. So more or less, you've got to look at the Les Paul and make it more. I think I just figured out another reason why I'm hard to live with. Oh, I don't need to follow that path. No self-awareness! So, back to the bench we go. Grab a couple of P90-ish pickups in chrome, take the thing apart, make a big mess, because that's what I do. Grab a soldering iron and some wire insulation, figure out that the braided cable is actually the ground, and bingo bango, let's button it up and play around. So yeah, it's just a pickup swap. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to the whole playing it at the bench and adjusting pickup height. And here she is. But she's not Les Paul. She's Paulina. And she will be back after dark.